If you want to stay up to date with all current hip hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. So we just got an announcement for a new Pop Smoke album. This came out of nowhere. It was released a couple of minutes ago actually, so let's talk about it. So basically what happened is that on his official YouTube channel, a trailer was posted that is just called Pop Smoke Album Trailer. And in that trailer, we can kind of see, clips from his past interviews, his past shows, that kind of give an anticipation for something new to come. And at the end, we see the screen with a release date of July 16th, so in about a month. So there's a couple of things we can learn from this, and I want to go into them right now. So I just gave y'all like the raw facts, but of course there's a couple more details that we can kind of draw from this. First off, to give you some history on this, after Pop Smoke passed away in early 2020, there were of course rumors about a posthumous release, and this actually ended up, releasing in May of 2020 called Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. And to be honest, this was a album that I was very surprised of, positively, because I thought that with such a young artist, Pop was 20 at the time he was killed, rest in peace, that there wouldn't be enough material for them to go off of, and this would just be like a filler track. We've seen this happen with people like XXXTentacion with Bad Vibes Forever, or Skins, for example, two horrible albums, only some very rare great moments on there, but the majority of those albums is just kind of patched together snippets that they found here and there, which to me is not, the way that the artist would have intended this album to be. It's more like just a money grab for the estate and the label. But anyway, this Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, first posthumous release from Pop Smoke, was incredible. I loved this one. Of course, there were some duds in the playlist, no doubt, but the majority of this felt like actual songs that Pop had recorded before he passed away. And this was true back then, because, the album only came out about 3 to 4 to 5 months after he passed away, so the majority of the stuff on the album had been recorded and had been directed by himself the way that he wanted it to be, and that's of course a great sign, and this also showed. But this is the main point that I'm very concerned with this new album, because of course people say that Pop has had this really big bunch of recordings and legacy that he's left us with that we can go off of and create songs with. He had a bunch of verses. Go on any big release nowadays and you'll have a Pop Smoke feature on there. He also recently dropped a track for the Fast and Furious 9 soundtrack, Lane Switcher, with Juicy J, A$AP Rocky's on there as well, so I actually like that track quite a lot. And I gotta say, especially on, for example, a couple of the recent features that he did, I think that those features were actually meant for those tracks, and I think that is something great, and I think that that's also the way that it should be, because sometimes these rappers just, buy a Pop Smoke feature, buy some leftover verse, and it's such a big deal because they got a posthumous verse from him on there. But the main thing I'm concerned about with this new record is that it'll be kind of like a stitching together of some old stuff that is not really meant to go together. As I said, XXXTentacion, we've seen this happen. I'm also concerned about this with the new Juice WRLD album, The Party Never Ends. Juice WRLD was another artist in 2020 with Legends Never Die that I was very surprised with the actual outcome of the first posthumous album. But of course, in that situation as well, I'm very concerned about the second album, because most of the stuff that he really wanted to be on this record, and most of the stuff that he had seen in his head as his vision to come together, is most likely just going to be for that album. Anyway, this new Pop Smoke album, of course, I am very excited for this. I actually kind of fell in love with his sound over the past couple of months. It's one of the main artists I listened to while working out. I loved his feature on, for example, that Clueless track from Polo G's Hall of Fame album, his last album. That goes hard, and I listened to that on repeat while running, so I really love his style, and I fell in love with it over the past couple of months, so I'm here for new material. I just hope that it doesn't, leave a dent in his legacy legacy, and it's actually in some sort of formula or way that he had wished this to be. I mentioned Juice as an example earlier with another artist that has released posthumous releases, but I think Juice is in a very special other position, because we know Juice is someone who could just freestyle and come up with songs, you know, like 10 songs a day. And Pop Smoke has kind of been in the same lane, but not to the same extent, and not for the amount of time that Juice has been there. As I said, Pop Smoke was only 20 years old, and I don't think that in the time that he really took music seriously, he has amassed that kind of discography that we can just milk the last drop out of everything that, you know, he's done. So kind of my expectations for this new record include a bunch of features that are just kind of the fillers for the tracks that he started but never really finished. You know, I don't really like that with posthumous releases. I think that's, you know, against all the reasons I just explained, but I think we're really gonna get there. We've seen him work with so many big artists on Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. It kind of worked. For some reason I wasn't as bothered by that than I thought I would be, but he still played the main role on every track on there for the most part, I would say. So it's all cool, but I think this new album, I really hope it's not just gonna be some, you know, patchwork type of album that we'll get. Of course, now we can't really talk about him developing as an artist, because obviously, unfortunately, he's not with us anymore, so there's not really anything to develop off of or evolve off of. I just hope that this will serve as kind of a great tastemaker for what his career has been, for what sound he has influenced. He's been one of the main driving forces in bringing that mainstream drill Brooklyn sound out of that, just, you know, that area. I think he was one of the artists that really kind of catapulted it into the charts and into the mainstream. So we got to give him props for that, and I hope that this album is kind of a perfect encapsulation of whatever, you know, movement he had going on in New York at the time, and will not leave like a bittersweet taste on his career or on the whole, you know, sound and genre of that drill music. So we got a new Pop Smoke album coming out. We don't know the album title yet. By kind of the name of the video, it could be self-titled, but I really doubt that. I don't think they would drop a self-titled Pop Smoke album, but from the, you know, we don't really have an official title yet, which they usually, you know, release with these trailers, so it might be self-titled, but we'll have to wait and see on more information for that. As always, the more we learn about this album, the closer we get to the release. I'll post new videos, I'll keep you updated, so if you want to stay up to date with this, make sure you're subscribed. And now I really want to know what you think about this. I kind of expressed my thoughts on this, now I want to know what you think. Are you excited for this? Do you think this will be just another money grab, or do you think this is actually the way that Pophead would have wanted this to be? And what do you expect from this? What features do you expect to see? What sound do you expect to hear? Yeah, so all of that, let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.